What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Faithful Fit Father podcast. This is Sean, and got a new series we're going to be introducing here today. First episode, something a little different. It's obviously the Faithful Fit Father podcast. So this is going to be more around the health and nutrition, lifestyle portion outside of just leading your family. So I'm excited about it ever since the Charlie Kirk thing. Um, kind of switching gears just a little bit. I'm going to get back to the covenant and the marriage series soon, but I did want to go ahead and introduce this, and again, I am excited about it. It's going to be called The Pillars of Health. So it's episode 1, and we're going to jump right into it. If you want to change your health, it starts with 2 foundations: strength training and nutrition. Strength training builds a resilient body, and nutrition fuels every system in it. Now, at the center of nutrition, you got your macronutrients: protein, fats, and carbohydrates. Over the next few episodes, I'm going to break down each one of those, not just so you understand what they are, but so you know why they matter when it comes to performance, longevity, and just everyday energy and health. Today, we're going to talk about the most important one: protein. And when it comes to this, scripture reminds me in 1 Corinthians 6:20, "For you were bought at a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's." Taking care of your body isn't just about performance, but it's about stewardship. So, nutrition is built around 3 macronutrients. Obviously, you got protein, you got fats, and you got carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are your fast fuel, tied directly to insulin and blood sugar control. Fats are essential for hormones, brain health, and long term energy. And protein, well, protein's the foundation. It's obviously a major macronutrient that your body just cannot go without. So, what is a protein? Well, protein shakes, right? Or meat. I'm sure everybody thinks of that when they think of protein. But what else is it? Well, at the molecular level, it's amino acids. There are 20 amino acids. 9 of them are essential, which means that your body just cannot make them. So you have to get them from your food. So when you eat protein, your body breaks it down into those amino acids. From there, those amino acids are used to rebuild into whatever your body needs most at the time: muscle fibers, enzymes, hormones, even neurotransmitters and antibodies for your immune system. And that's why protein is more than just a shake after the gym, or making sure you get your chicken breasts, or whatever else that comes to mind whenever you're thinking about protein. It uses it to build and repair everything in your body every single day. So let's put that into perspective real quick. Protein builds muscle tissue, but it doesn't stop there. Like I said, it builds enzymes, which are like spark plugs. They make up every chemical reaction in your body possible. Protein builds those hormones. We mentioned insulin. It also produces growth hormone, neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which affect your mood and focus. Those depend on those amino acids. And your immune system. Amino acids convert to antibodies. Those are proteins. Your hair, your skin, your connective tissue, all based on protein. So if you don't eat enough, your body starts pulling those amino acids from your muscles just to keep you alive, to keep operating efficiently as it can be. That means weakness, fatigue, and faster aging. But when you eat enough, everything in your body functions better. You're not just stronger in the gym, you're stronger in your life. But obviously, when people think of protein and they think of the gym, muscle growth certainly comes to mind. When you lift weights, you're not building muscle while you're at the gym in that moment. You're actually breaking it down. You're training. Training creates small tears in your muscle fibers. What repairs those muscle fibers and builds them back stronger? Protein, the amino acids. This is why training without protein is a wasted effort. The stimulus is there, but the supply is missing. And there's a bigger picture here. Muscle isn't just for looks. Muscle is your longevity currency. The more muscle that you carry, the better your blood sugar control, the higher your metabolism, and the stronger you remain as you age. Proverbs 20:29 says, "The glory of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray head." Strength matters at every age of life, and protein fuels it. Protein and longevity. I mentioned a minute ago that protein builds muscle fibers. You get stronger, you get bigger. But when you get stronger or bigger, that longevity currency, which is muscle, helps with all those things mentioned before, but it really helps preventing insulin resistance. If you don't eat enough protein and as you age, you start to lose muscle. As you get older, one of the biggest threats to your health isn't just disease, it's muscle loss. It's called sarcopenia. It leads to frailty, falls, and dependence upon others, aging non gracefully. Everybody talks about lifespan. How long are we going to be here? How old is it going to be when my time comes to an end? But what about those years up into that point? I hear all the time, well, I don't want to live to 100. It's because in their mind, they have this perception that they're going to be weak and dependent upon others because that's what they see out there. That's what these past few generations have had. The Western diet and lack of exercise and strength training. It's put us in a position to where we end up depending upon other people as we age. It's not right. So, where do we start? Well, here's a practical guide and approach to protein. How much protein should you eat? Well, a simple place to start is about 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. There's some nuance to that, meaning if you're 300 plus pounds, you don't exactly need to eat 300 plus grams of protein. But if you're at average size, man, you need to be eating what your supposed lean body mass is or what you would like it to be. For example, I'm right now 182 pounds. I shoot for 1.2 grams to 1.5 grams of protein per day because I excessively, well, I wouldn't say excessively, but prioritize heavily strength training, muscle gains. So I want to make sure I'm hitting 250 grams of protein, especially whenever I'm dieting or I'm in a calorie deficit to preserve as much muscle tissue as I can as I start to lose some of the fat that I have accumulated. Now, again, that's going to be a different strategy, but as a rule of thumb, 1 gram of protein per body weight pound is a good place to start. So let's make it easy. You weigh 200 pounds, shoot for 200 grams of protein. Pretty easy math. You want to also spread that across a few meals a day. You can't try to accomplish that in 1 or 2 meals. Obviously, 200 grams of protein in 1 meal is ridiculous, but 4 meals is what I try to shoot for daily, possibly if I can squeeze in the fifth, depending upon how my schedule looks, but that's the goal. Now, when you do spread that across the day, it is more beneficial, chemically speaking, and as far as those protein synthesis occurs, there's much more benefit to it based on the research that I've found. But let's not make it complicated. 3 to 4 meals a day, 200 grams of protein a day. I think you'd be fine. 180, 200, no problem. So, what's the best sources of protein? Everybody obviously thinks of chicken, they think of steak, but fish, obviously, excellent place of protein, healthy protein, and eggs. Man, nature's multivitamin. And you got dairy products, milk, whole milk, none of that skim milk, fat-free stuff. You want nice whole milk, raw milk if you can get it, and then also cheeses and stuff like that. A good Parmesan cheese, something like that. It's really high protein content. It's not going to be your primary sources, but you want to try to include stuff like that if you can in your approach here. So, whey protein shakes. That's something I also include. There's some trash protein shakes out there without a doubt. I'm telling you right now, there's some companies out there basically scamming. I mean, it's just some garbage. But I try to eat grass-fed meat, grass-finished meat, and so that also, move right into my proteins when I can find that. I've been using Transparent Labs now for about 3.5 years. I have a subscription to that. It's fairly moderately priced for the quality that I've heard that it is. And if somebody out there has some data to suggest otherwise, I'm certainly open to changing because I do want to get quality food and quality protein. But again, it's grass-fed, Transparent Labs, whey isolate protein. I try to hit one of those a day. Again, prioritize that right after the gym. But let's not make this too complicated. So we're shooting for protein, and that's the main thing. The key here is to make protein the centerpiece of your meals. Build everything else around it. That one habit alone would change your health more than anything else. So, nutrition multiplies training. If you're going to strength train, highly recommend it. And then prioritize your protein. Again, the two foundations that I'm talking about here. The principle that you want to remember is training is the signal for the protein, or excuse me, training is the signal for growth, and nutrition is the supply to that. If you lift weights, but you fuel with junk food, or you're fighting against yourself, essentially, nutrition will either enhance everything you're doing, or it will keep your health running poorly. Now, you can go to the gym as much as you want. If you have a poor diet, you're really cutting yourself short. You want to focus on making sure that you hit what you're supposed to outside of the gym as well as in. And we're not talking about trying to be Ronnie Coleman here or Mr. Olympia. We're talking about just being a healthy dad, a healthy single guy out here trying to do the right thing, be the right version of himself. Longevity, again, is what we're talking about here. You're not going to get too big. I promise you that. So if you're younger, you're young guys out there, 16, 18, 20, 25 years old, maybe you're just a teenager, this is a time to start. You guys got all the opportunity in the world. I wish I would have started when I was that young. I didn't start lifting until I was 25. Thank goodness I did though. It certainly served me very well to where I'm at today, 39 now as of 2 weeks ago. But your body is primed for growth. Testosterone maxing right now at your age. Hormones is at their peak. Recovery's faster. And every ounce of muscle you build now sets you up for decades of strength. The habits you lock in when you're young, lifting weights, prioritizing protein, fueling your body instead of trashing it at the club or at the bar, drinking all the time, these habits are going to follow you for life. Take advantage of it. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. It's the same principle applies here. Train your body now. Build the right habits now, and you'll carry that foundation through every season of life. But what if you're not a young guy still? I mean, hey, that's perception, really. But let's say you're 35, 45, 55. Now what? Well, you feel out of shape. You feel tired. You didn't get an early start. You're just now, let's say, coming to your senses, thinking, man, I really need to take care of myself. And this time I'm going to make a change. I'm going to take action instead of wishing and wanting something for myself and not moving forward towards it. Here's the truth. It's not too late. You still got time, but you got to start now. Muscle responds at any age. Your body's capable of repairing and rebuilding if you give it the right training and the right fuel. I talk to dads all the time who think, man, it's too late for me. I missed my window. They just reminisce back when they were in high school, back when they were in college, and they got a back issue or a knee issue. And what they got a nutrition problem. They're inflamed. They're not taking care of themselves. They can't back squat, they say, because their back hurts. Well, their back hurts because they're not back squatting. You need to start easy. You need to take it serious, and you need to get your nutrition in order. Get them vitamins and minerals in there like you're supposed to, and your back problem is probably going to go away or at least heavily improve. Energy comes back. Strength comes back. And you're the example that you set for your kids. That's priceless. Not even your kids. Let's say you're 65, 60, 55. Let's say you got grandkids. and your son didn't didn't do what he let's not say didn't do what he should do. Let's say that you got a son and he's out of shape too, made some poor choices, not in his health. He's out of shape, overweight, not strong minded, and wishes just like you're wishing. But he's got kids too. So you have grandkids, you know, be an example for them. Hopefully your son would change too. But man, you got uh, wisdom potentially that you can share. But words are nothing if there's no action there. Actions always speak louder than words, as cliche as that is. I know you've heard it a million times, but granddads out there, you got time to make a change. Get your health in order. If you don't, like, especially young guys, it's a life of statins, you know, statins, medication, blood pressure. I mean, that's just the Western diet. That's the Western way that it is. That's where everybody's headed if you don't get your stuff in order. You don't got to take this from me. Get out there, open a book, pull up a web page, follow something on Instagram. It don't even have to be me. But guys, I'm here to help you out, point you in the right direction. Psalms 92:14 reminds us, they shall sit and still bear fruit in old age. Let me repeat that. They shall still bear fruit in old age. They shall be fresh and flourishing. It's never too late to start bearing fruit in your health. So here's the takeaway. Protein is the foundation. Stop getting out there and getting these salads thinking you're losing weight with the ranch dressing on it. Half a chicken breast. It ain't doing it. You're not doing anything for your body that you really think that you are. All right. It builds muscle. It builds hormones. It builds enzymes. You're going to be less sick. It builds life itself. If you're young, start today. You'll be decades ahead of the curve. If you're older, don't wait another year. It's not too late to turn things around. Prioritize your strength training today. Fuel it with protein. Stay consistent. Probably one of the most important things overall is consistency. You'll fall off a little bit. Just keep going, putting it back in order. You'll be fine. That's how you change your health. And that's how you lead with purpose. So that's going to be it for now. In the next episode, we're going to dive into fats, why they're not the villain, like we've been told, and how they actually fuel your hormones, your brain health, longevity. So subscribe to this and stick with me because it's just the beginning. So until next time, stay faithful, stay fit, and lead with purpose.